You are listening to, I say you are listening to, you are absolutely listening to the George Espinlove Show, coming to you live from the Funny Farm. Now, with no further ado, here comes Georgie!
Hip, hip, hooray! Yeah, hip, hip, hooray! It is Friday night at the Funny Farm. Oh, am I happy? I'm happy. All the crowd in the radio studio is happy. Everyone is happy, and I sure hope you're happy. I'm really happy that you decided to tune into the George Espinlove Show tonight. And I want to say a great big hello to all my friends down the street, around the corner, across this great nation, and around the world. You are listening to us live from the Funny Farm in a place called our world, which we have no idea. I mean, none whatsoever. We have no idea where our world is. We are just content to live there, and that's all that matters to us. We don't care where it's at. We just want to live here. Oh, boy. Everybody jumping up and down, slapping each other on the back. You know, I've watched them around here sometimes slap each other so hard they slap each other silly. You know what I'm saying? But well, you do. Everybody around here does. And God only. Don't you all start right now? We have a guest, and God only knows you're all silly enough. That's why you're all locked. I mean, that's why you're all here at the Funny Farm. Hey, we want you to come. We want you to come and be part of the Funny Farm. Now, listen, this is what we want you to do. We want you to become a full-fledged loon. This is what you have to do to become a full-fledged loon. Now, don't turn your nose up or just roll your eyes, like, no, I don't want to be one of those, You don't know what you want to be until you just let your hair down, cut yourself loose, you know what I'm saying, and express yourself. And you might find out that you really, really like it. Here's all you have to do to become a loon. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to sign anything. All you do is come. Come to the Funny Farm. That's all. And you know what? By you tuning in tonight, and for you that tune in later, you are signifying that you want to become a full-fledged loon, and we congratulate you for that. Now, we have two goals in mind here. One is to put a smile on your face, even if it's just but a short time. The other, well, it's to make you as crazy as the rest of us around here, and we are going to do our hardest, our best, our absolute best to make you just as crazy as the rest of us. Friday night. Oh, it happens every Friday night. Oh, boy. Okay. We got to bring our guest on. This could be a spooky Friday night. I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm just saying. But tonight, we have a guest by the name of Terry Allen Dodson, who has written a book entitled The Medium Writer on Shattered Spirits. And there's a story behind this. So, if Charlie will patch him up onto the board, and I can get the old light will come up over here on my side, and we'll be able to patch him through. You got him, Charlie? All right, old buddy, here we go. So, I want to introduce to you Terry Allen Dodson. Terry, welcome to the George Espinlov Show.
Thank you. I'm here.
It's good to have you, buddy.
Thank you very much.
Would you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Born in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Grew up between Texas and Arkansas most of my life. Joined the military right out of high school.
Could you do me a favor and turn that? Do you have your computer on, or you listening to the show?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, could you turn it down, because we're getting a feedback through here.
Okay, too easy, G, too easy. There we go. I muted it out.
Okay, yeah, and there's probably a 15 or 20-second delay as it goes through the airwaves and so on and so forth. But thank you. You were saying.
Hello?
You were saying, you was telling us a little bit about yourself.
I joined the Army just out of high school. Went to boot camp in 1992. I went in the National Guard first. Served 5 years with that. During that time, I served 2 years in Special Operations Command. Seen and done a bunch of stuff that give me nightmares already, and let alone I'm a medium on top of it. And then let's see, I went active duty in 1998, and I was active duty up until July of this year.
So, you mentioned that you were a medium.
Yes, sir.
Explain to us, excuse me, explain to us that doesn't know what a medium is, what a medium is.
Okay, a medium is a person that can see and speak to the dead. In my case, I can actually see them like every other day people. I mean, granted, they're not corporeal, full form like we are, but I can still see them just like any other person, and I can hear them just like I hear you talking right now.
How long have you had? What's this called? Is it a gift or a?
It can be a gift and it can be a curse.
Okay.
For me, growing up in a semi-Pentecostal household, growing up around Pentecostal environment, a lot of the people thought I was possessed by the devil and wanted to take me into church and cast the devil out of me on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when I told folks I was talking to the children that lived in the house. And it was just me, my brother, and my sister, but I was talking about other children that lived in the house.
And those other children were deceased?
Yes, they were deceased.
So you, I can relate. Excuse me, I can relate living in a Pentecostal environment. So I can understand what you're saying. How long, or when's the first time it ever happened to you?
Well, I was about 5-6 years old. My first real medium experience. I was going to Oklahoma, where my grandparents lived, for the 4th of July, and went down to a pond there on my grandfather's farm, and all the cousins were out there playing on the dock and laughing and joking, and my cousin all of a sudden got a fish on his fishing pole, and it knocked me off into the water, and I had yet to learn to swim. And this gentleman came to me underneath the water and was grabbing my hand and was showing me exactly what happened to him. Apparently, he caught his wife cheating on him with a door-to-door salesman on the farm, and he killed her, killed the man, and then killed himself. And at 5 years old, he showed me all this stuff.
That's while you were drowning, right?
Yeah, that's while I was under the water.
So this had to be like I mean, you saw all this stuff pretty. It had to be pretty fast.
I
Right?
mean, I saw it through his mind's eye.
Uh huh. Wow.
He showed me. I was seeing him walking up the back steps, going into the back of the farmhouse where my grandfather lived, and then next thing I know, I'm looking through her eyes, and as she's rushing this guy out the door and kisses him on the mouth right as he walks out the door. And then I get a morbid sense of agony from the man who killed all of them, as his heart was broken and he didn't know what else to do. So he grabbed a carbine off the wall and he killed her with a hay hook, and he shot the guy just past the mailbox in front of my grandfather's house. And so at 5 years old, that was pretty traumatic.
Can you remember? I mean, it's bad enough that you fell in the water and you're drowned and you're fighting for your life, and you see this, and I guess it was a good thing, right? Because I mean, you're here today to tell us about it. So obviously, you didn't drown.
Yeah.
Did that man have something to do with you not drowning?
To this day, I honestly feel that it's definitely a good possibility that he was the reason.
Mm-hmm.
I even was bitten by a water moccasin, and instead of it actually biting me and piercing the venom into me, it actually just pierced the skin.
Hmm.
So I wasn't even poisoned by the snake.
So
and a lot of this I'm telling you from memory of what everybody told me after I came to.
Mm-hmm.
I came to on my grandmother's couch in the living room as everybody was standing over me making sure I was all right.
And did you tell them about the man?
Well, my cousin was starting to get chewed out by my aunt, and that's when I blurted out that it wasn't his fault, that it wasn't his fault about the man in the water. He didn't know about him, and that he didn't mean to kill the lady and the other guy, and then himself. He was just lonely and didn't know who to talk to.
And naturally, everybody looks at you like you have two heads.
Well, not so much that as it is my grandfather just starts laughing. My aunt and uncle, they were chewing into the cousins because they thought they told me the story, and they had never said a word. I already knew it firsthand. I got firsthand knowledge of it, so they were steadily freaking out because I knew all of this all of a sudden. Everybody in the family knew about the guy who lived there before my grandfather bought the farm.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were steadily freaking out.
During your that was the first encounter with anything like this. So you're going to have to school me a little bit here, Terry. Excuse me. Is this considered under the heading of paranormal?
Yeah, definitely.
So
definitely paranormal.
So after that, did these things continue to happen, and how regular did they happen?
Oh, on a daily basis, there's two ghosts living in my in-laws' house.
Mm. And
one of them, he used to smoke a pipe, and 3 times a day I smelled pipe smoke throughout the house.
So, what was it like going to school and this taking place?
That was one of those things that I just didn't talk about.
Uh-huh.
Because I honestly I didn't know anything about it in my childhood during elementary school. I really honestly didn't know anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I pretty much would just keep quiet, and I kept to myself. I was one of those people. I mean, I was hyperactive to begin with, so I'm always getting into mischief. But when it comes to actual in the classroom, I was always quiet, and I wouldn't be outspoken, but there was always something different about me.
Mm-hmm. And the other kids, obviously, they detected the difference.
Oh, yes. I was always hounded in school. I think I beat more bullies up going through school, elementary and junior high than I ever have in my whole life.
when these things would happen to you as you was growing up, but you wouldn't say anything to anybody, did it scare you? What kind of emotions did you go
Well,
through?
there were a few times that I came across some that were pretty nasty on occasion, and those really would scare me really bad. And I actually had a bedwetting problem until I was 12 years old because of it.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't get out of bed because I was afraid somebody would be wanting to talk to me.
Would
And my mom didn't understand it when I was 12 years old and still wet in the bed and hadn't got over that. And I just I wouldn't get up out of the bed a lot at night just to go to the bathroom because I'd be scared to death.
so you had you had all kind of emotional things going on.
Mm-hmm.
You were experiencing this on one side. You couldn't say anything to anybody about it on the other side. So you were like between a rock and a hard place, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Did this continue? I mean, once it started from your first time until now, has this continually always been a consistent happening to you?
Yes, sir, it sure has. I go through that on a daily basis. I actually, up there in Tennessee where I lived, I'd step out on my porch for a cigarette, and I'd hear the sound of hoof beats on the pavement. And I'd look out, and there'd be a Civil War cavalry soldier on a horseback. So yeah, I mean, they'll come up and find me wherever I'm at.
What? And I don't know if you can answer this or not, but what do you think it is about you that? What do you think makes the whole thing happen?
I've honestly have no idea. I mean, growing up a Christian most of my life, I mean, they really look down upon a lot of this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I've over the years I've considered it a curse at one point in my life when I was a avid Christian and constantly going to church because here I'm going to church and I'm listening to what the preacher's telling me about the good word, and then on the other hand I'm seeing ghosts, I'm seeing spirits, and I'm like, am I demon possessed? And I couldn't debate whether I was demon possessed or if it was a gift from God. Well, later on in life, as I got older, my mind got a little age to it to where I could decipher things in my own head. I started looking at it as a gift. I said, well, maybe I could talk to these people and see what's wrong and why they're still on Earth. And as I started doing that, that's when I started realizing they were stuck here for one reason or another. And when I talked to them and they told me what was wrong, after I talked to them, they went to the light and they were at peace.
This is I'm looking for the word. Amazing. That's not the word, but for lack of a better word, it's amazing, Terry. I mean, I've never had an experience like that. So I'm talking to a man. Excuse me. I'm talking to a man that has had this experience since he was a child.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the kind of guy that never says never, or I never say that's impossible.
Yeah.
Or that just doesn't happen, because I'm just me. I'm a microscopic speck on this.
Well, if I ever had that mindset of that's impossible, I would be bound to a wheelchair to this day.
Exactly.
And if I would have listened to what the Army doctors told me in 2001, I'd still be riding around in a wheelchair today.
Let me real quick lest I forget, and I'll mention it several times too. Your book is done by, and I'm not sure I can pronounce this. Is it Mikazuki? Mikazuki Publishing House.
Mm-hmm.
And the name of your book is The Medium Writer on Shattered Spirits.
Mm-hmm.
And they can get it at Amazon. They can get
Amazon.com. They can order it off there in regular paperback, or they can order it off the ebook for their Nooks and their Kindles. And they can also go on BarnesandNoble.com.
Mm-hmm.
They can also go on BooksAMillion.com, and they're available there as well.
Now, getting back to where I was, it's amazing that I can remember where I was, Terry. Sometimes I can't. But anyhow,
Mm-hmm.
but anyhow, I never say that that's impossible, or that just doesn't happen,
Mm-hmm.
or nah. Now, there's some things that I might turn my brow up to in question. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I don't think anyone can absolutely say for sure, beyond any doubt, that these things don't happen, because there's too many other people that it has happened to.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I've actually been all over the world, and no matter where I've gone, I run into them.
what?
From Europe to Japan to Russia and a few other places, I've experienced really, really ancient ghosts.
How far back? How far back is?
I think the last one I ran into, the oldest one I've ever ran into, was in Trier, Germany. It's one of the oldest cities in Europe, and it goes back to Roman times.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually talked to a couple of Roman centurions.
Oh my God!
I even went out to the amphitheater there in Trier, and I actually have a picture I took across the top of the amphitheater, and at the main entrance of the amphitheater is a big cloud floating over the entrance.
Now, when you see these folks and you converse with them, do you see the scenery that's around them, or are they like in your seat?
Well, sometimes it's kind of like transparent.
Uh-huh.
Like looking at the amphitheater and some of the Roman ruins there in Trier, I could see the current town, and then I could see the way back when.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes they'll go flash, and they'll just show me their life from that time period.
And you can not only hear the people, but you can hear other sounds around you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The sounds of the fountains in the market, and the sounds of the barbarians at the gate coming in through the Roman ruins. Sorry, there's an alarm going off in the background. I'm outside by the pool.
Have you? Oh yeah, you got to rub it in, don't you? You're down there by the pool, and we're up here in the rain. I'm only kidding, and I don't blame you, because I'd do the same thing too.
I tell you, after I got down about midway to Georgia, I decided I'll never go that far north again.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Nice weather down here.
I don't blame you one bit. These people, is there all ages, children, middle age?
Yeah, I've had children, I've had adults, I've had older people. I've had Civil War soldiers. That's in my first book.
Is that the first book, the Medium Writer on Shattered Spirits? Mm-hmm. And that's about the...
Yeah, I actually told the story of a Civil War regiment that was based out of Savannah, Georgia.
And this story is based on one or more people that have already passed on.
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
And do they tell you? I guess, for instance, when you wrote this book, did this individual or individuals, why do they come to you? I guess that's what I'm saying.
I guess it's like you going through a tunnel, and there's no entries and no exits in this tunnel, and then all of a sudden you come across a door, and you're trapped. You got a feeling of being trapped, and you see a door. What's your first response? You're going to open that door. Is that correct?
Right.
Well, I consider myself an open doorway, and that's what they're doing. They're stuck on Earth for one reason or another, and they're drawn to my energy and who I am and what I do. And so over the years, they're drawn to me, and they come to me and they ask if they could tell their story or ask me to help them, and I'll do the best I can to help them.
That's amazing. There's that word again. It's not it. That word is just not sufficient, but it is absolutely amazing. How long? Let's use the Civil War people. When they approach you, or when an individual approaches you, how long do they stick around?
It depends on how long it takes until I help them or put them at peace. Like this one story in particular, I started in 2001, and it had several rewrites on top of multiple things going on in my life with my medical issues as well as being in the Army. And so I'd have to put it on hold for a while and do what I had to do with my regular life and get back to it. And then this last bit, when I started the last rewrite of I'm going to say about, I started rewriting this book probably 8 different times.
Mm-hmm.
And this final rewrite I started in October of 2011, and I had it finished by April or June of 2012.
When they contact you, does anything happen to you? I mean, physically, like you go into a trance or...
I have gone into a trance a couple of times, and then there's been times where the room just gets really cold,
mm-hmm.
and but not too cold. That's a direct quote out of my book. But yeah, they're drawing the energy in the environment, and I've actually had batteries in my house go completely dry, like in the remotes to the TV, the clocks, everything.
Mm.
But yeah, they did this one group of ghosts. I moved into the trailer where I lived over there in Georgia, where I was stationed, and when I was in the house, I noticed I felt their presence at first, and then here and there they started making themselves known to me that they were there. Apparently, one of their that site where my home was where one of their last attacks on them from the federal troops were.
Uh-huh.
And so a couple of them were actually buried on that property. But they started talking to me way before I even had the car wreck. And then after I was in the car wreck and in the ICU, they came to visit me on a regular basis and asked me if I would tell their story. And so I sat down and started writing it after I got well enough to work on a typewriter.
When they come to you, and then like you said, there were times that you had to put it off because you had other obligations and priorities to take care of. When you have to do something like that, do you get back to them, or do they get back to you, or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. Like with this group of ghosts, they pretty much hung around here and there. They wouldn't like bother me on a daily basis or anything like that. I went from Georgia to Arizona, and I was still writing the story. And the only time they would come around was when I would start writing the story.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I would ask them to come around so I could continue.
Now, was it almost like a dictation? I mean, they would...
Pretty much. They would sit around me and tell me what happened to them and what they went through, and I would take notes, and then later on I would go through what I wrote down and put it together into the book.
Did you said you ran into, or you had met some rough characters?
I have met some that have actually done physical damage to me.
Did they want your help, or did they just want to be?
Some of them they do, and some of them they don't. They were in their life. That's the thing. A lot of them during their lifetime, if they were not necessarily a great character or a great personality traits, they take that with them after life. And it carries on, and they tend to be a little gruffer and rough around the edges. But a couple of them I've actually helped, and then there were some that they just wanted to be a nuisance, period. And those are the ones that you run off.
Is there a way when you run into one of those characters that?
Yeah, actually there is a way. As you know anything about Christianity, there's always a way.
To keep them at bay, huh? Okay, I got you, buddy. I got you.
And as a medium, I can actually. I learned years ago that I'm the one in control, not them. I'm the one that's doing them a service. I'm the one that they're coming to. Therefore, I have the control over the situation,
right? Not
them. So that's another thing that helped me on my mental state as a child and growing up, to where I wouldn't be afraid of them. That's how I got to where I was unafraid of them.
Can we go back to this the old man that that you first met when you were drowning? He killed his wife, and he killed the man that was being involved with his wife. Did he ask you for help, or was you just too young, or was he just?
For that, it wasn't so much he wanted help as it was he didn't know that there was anyone that could see him anymore. He was a ghost. He was still stuck on Earth, and he was alone. And he felt really he was alone, scared, and in sorrow from his heartbreak. And so it wasn't so much he was trying to hurt me as it was he was just lonely and needed someone to talk to.
Within the ghost realm, several years ago, we went to Gettysburg.
Oh yeah,
one of the most haunted places, I guess, in America.
Yeah, it is. There's certain places in this world I won't even step foot on.
Is that one of them?
It's not so much because of the haunting and things like that as it is there's just so many of them. And for me, especially with my disabilities, if I went out there and tried to do work, it would literally kill me. It would drain my body energy, and it would literally kill me.
I got you.
And it would be so overwhelming, it would put me in the hospital.
We have, let me use I, because I can speak for myself. I have watched the ghost documentaries and so on and so forth. You know, the ghost hunters or the ghost whatever. And there's a lot of times, Terry, when they're doing their thing, they'll say that's a ghost. Well, I don't see it. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes people don't see it. Sometimes people do see it. It's all in how they translate it themselves and their own personal experience.
When we were in Gettysburg, they had at nighttime they would have these different places downtown, and you know where people would give you a little tour through the houses where something took place, and they would say that, you know, there's a ghost over here and he or she does this all the time, and so on and so forth. I have never, like I told you before, I've never said that there is no such thing. I don't believe such thing. But I would, if I was to see a ghost, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I know nothing about them because I've never seen one, but I would like to see a real, tangible person.
Well, on that note, I can always say, be careful what you wish for.
Okay. When you see these individuals, you said they're not exactly like us, but you can actually see them.
Yeah.
Have you ever been visited by more than one, or a bunch of them?
Yes. Yeah, matter of fact, I sat down pretty much with Captain Ellington's entire regiment. That's the guy that I wrote about, the Civil War Ghost. I wrote about his people in his regiment. I wrote about his sister's story about what happened to her after the Battle of Savannah. She was captured by Sherman's troops.
Wow.
And when she was 16 years old, and she went through a horrendous event.
Did you say you're married, correct?
Yes.
And
Yes, sir, I am.
what is your wife's reactions?
She supports me 100%.
And
she's of the Celtic descent. She's Irish, and so she's always kind of had a little bit of I don't know. She can kind of sense it a little bit herself, but she's not a medium. She's sensitive to a degree. Some people are real sensitive to it.
Mm-hmm.
You ever gone into an old house somewhere, or a dark room, or a basement, and you walk down there and it's just got a certain element about it, and the hair on the back of your head back of your neck stands up.
Yeah, and
that's similar.
I'll share this with you. Of course, we're being broadcast around the world, but I'll tell you, it's always been funny when I think about it. But there were times when I was younger that I would do just that. I'd either be in a dark room, or I'd have to go to the store, down through the schoolyard and across the creek and along the woods, and it was always dark and stuff. But I would get that feeling as you were saying, in the back of your neck. And I know people will crack up, but that's perfectly all right. My ears would feel like they were getting big or something. Yeah. Like all the blood was
like they're on fire or burning or stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just a slight sensitivity to the energy of the air. Sometimes it's not necessarily a ghost per se. It could just be an energy in the air. Mm-hmm. Like you go into like some of the places I've been over in Europe, they're really old. I'm talking really old. I was living in buildings that were built in the 1100s, and you walk into the place and it's just got this air about it. It's just you can feel the age, and it just makes the hair on your neck just stand up.
I do know one thing. When I would have to run down to the store, and it was dark, and I had to go past the woods and over the creek, I was the fastest store goer, get backer that you have ever seen in your life. I mean, I was like
the sense that you're being watched.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was like a flash. It was just don't even use a stopwatch, because by the time you click it, I'm back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you wrote this book, Unshattered Spirits, the medium writer, Unshattered Spirits, you were able to talk to the officers and the enlisted men and all through the ranks and they
as well as their actual family members that lived right there in Savannah. I actually talked to the Captain Ellington, the main character. I actually talked to his father, who was he was originally from Ireland, and he was actually running with a lot of the people over there in Ireland that was fighting against the British. Mm-hmm. So he grew up under their oppression, fighting the British. Mm-hmm. So he had memories that were really far back.
When you was talking to these people, mm-hmm. you said that they use your energy. When you're done, I mean, is there a point when you're talking to them that you've just got to quit because you're drained?
Yeah. One of my first major writing periods, when I really got into doing the book, I wrote for 5 days straight. Mm-hmm. I'm talking, I got up from my bathroom breaks and cigarette breaks, things like that, and I would go back to the typewriter and continue writing. Then I get up and walk around a little bit, get some water or whatever, and go back to writing. And I didn't sleep. I didn't eat that much. And at the end of 5 days, I literally had to go to the hospital for a couple of days. Because physically I was recovering from the prominent car wreck injuries that I had, and it just drained my body so bad that it almost killed me a second time over.
Mm.
Or should I say a fifth time over?
A fifth time over.
Yeah. I died 4 times in the ICU, a flatline 4 times, and the 4th time flatline I came to on a slab in the morgue as they were cutting me open.
Mm. That's, no pun intended, but that's cutting it pretty close, isn't it?
Yeah, that is pretty close. I'll never forget. I grabbed the guy by the throat and said, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah, yeah. I think I'd have the same question.
And it wouldn't have been so bad, but I thought about it years later. I was at the Medical College of Georgia. Now it's a college, so the guy that was doing the autopsy had to be a student.
Uh-huh.
And so I got to thinking years later, I bet he went and changed his pants and then changed his major.
Right, right. Yeah, that was the turning point of his academic career. When when you did this particular book, what was it? Is that what they wanted? They wanted their story to be told, and then they would be at peace.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of the information they portrayed to me and gave to me are not talked about in the history books today. If you go into most public schools, they don't really go too into depth into the Civil War.
Exactly.
They just basically give the basics of what happened and the reasons why the Union split, and that's about it. Mm-hmm. And you don't find out much about the Civil War unless you go to college. Mm-hmm. And these people, this story was unheard of. They never got their story told. No one celebrated what happened to them and the heroism that they went through. And I mean, granted, the Union won the war. That's all fine and dead. I'm not gonna draw more lines in the sand, but there were just as many heroes on that side of the ocean as there was on the northern side.
Right, right.
And so, being a veteran myself, and going through similar experiences in combat, and having friends die in your arms, things like that, it's you got to tell that story. Mm-hmm. I mean, the stories of heroism. I mean, it's a part of our history. It's a part of who we are as a country.
Right.
And both sides need to be told, because there's just as many acts of heroism on that side as there was the other.
So you were told intricate things, things that took place that perhaps no one has ever written about or heard
and
about.
I didn't put all the details into this book. I mean, there were some of the details, they were just, I think, a little too graphic for many readers.
When you meet these people, and you say it's almost on a daily basis, let's say, for instance, today one comes to you. Is there only one that comes and hangs around, or a group of those that come and hang around?
It depends on the area where I'm at. So, like the one area, it just happened to be, I lived in an area where there was an entire regiment affected in the spot where I was living at. Uh-huh. And so I sat down and told their story. And other times it's just maybe one spirit, like, where was it at? My hometown in Hot Springs, Arkansas. I lived in this house. It was converted into an apartment house years later, but before that, when I was a child, my church that I was in, they ran this building as a halfway house for battered women. And in this house was a really heartbroken spirit of a young woman who was literally beaten to death by her husband. And she came to me and asked me to help her out, and the man that actually killed her was still in prison. And I looked him up and told him what was going on and told him that she needed some closure. Mm-hmm. And through that, I actually helped her rest in peace.
Wow.
Because apparently he had information on her personal belongings that she wanted returned to her family.
Uh-huh.
And he knew exactly where they were. I came back to the house after I visited him in prison and went up into this one spot. It just happened to be in the very apartment where I was staying in. There was a little side entrance. I was up in the very top of the attic part of the house. There was a little side door that opened up into the side part of the attic where they had storage. And I opened it up, and there was her belongings in a box. Mm. And I actually contacted her family. I got her name and everything was on the information. I looked her family up. I actually knew them from experiences in passing in church. I'd seen them a few times, and I contacted them, and I returned it. And she was able to rest in peace.
Now, once you accomplish what they needed, and they go away, do they ever come back again, or are they gone?
No, I mean, none of the ones that I've ever helped have come back again.
Uh-huh.
The whole regiment that I wrote the story about, they're all resting in peace now.
Mm. There's that word again, amazing. It's just absolutely amazing. When you move from place to place, of course, when you was in the Army and you was different duty stations, the ghosts that you would come in contact would be, what do I want to call them? The local ghosts, the ghosts that
were... sometimes not. I've had them float through from a completely different state, and I wound up contacting someone 3 states away and said, I was contacted by your loved one, and they wanted me to relay this information for you. Mm. And then they rested in peace. How
about the police? Have they ever used you or contacted you?
No, I've never tried that. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like getting the third degree. I've seen things on TV where I could tell exactly what happened or where a person was, and I wanted to call the police, and I just knew as I did that they would probably sit there and question me for probably 24 hours or more.
Right.
And they try to make me a suspect, and I'm like, I'm never even connected to this person.
Uh-huh. I can understand that. Have you had any loved ones or relatives come to you at all?
Oh, yeah. When I died that last time in ICU, I actually crossed over. Mm-hmm. I mean, I died and I was going to heaven, and I saw my great grandfather, who is a World War I veteran. I saw him, and he told me it was not my time yet, boy. Go back and tell your mama I love her. Mm. And that's exactly how he would talk. It's not your time yet, boy. Go back.
Yeah, them old timers, they would call it boys. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we all loved him dearly. His grandchildren, his great-grandchildren, his great-great-grandchildren loved him dearly.
Let me throw this.
And, my grandfather, he passed, he passed in 2007, and he came to visit me before he went on.
Let me throw this in again real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, you can go to Amazon.com, you can go to Barnes & Noble, The Medium Writer, Unshattered Spirits, and it's the story that you've been mentioning off and on. It's a Civil War story, isn't that right, Terry?
It's a little more than a Civil War story. Mm-hmm. I tell the story of this regiment, and I also go back and forth between my recovery of my wreck and me dealing with my issues of PTSD on top of it. I was dealing with a lot of flashbacks of stuff I've done while in service, and this was kind of therapy for me to deal with that. Mm-hmm. So I combined it in there.
Do you find that writing is good therapy for you?
Oh, it's some of the best therapy in the world.
Mm-hmm. I had a, I guess it's been a couple months now, a combat medic on, Patrick. I can never say his name right. Thebo, something like that. But we stay in touch. I just can't. I just can't say his last name right. Uh, and he was the same way. He has written a book, and he said it was the best therapy for
It
him.
really helps you deal with some of the things you go through.
I've always.
I've had one of my best friends die in my arms,
Mm-hmm.
and for years I had to deal with that, and I didn't know how. And instead of dealing with it in a proper fashion, I turned into a bottle of booze.
Mm-hmm.
And now, instead of turning to a bottle of booze, I open it up somewhere else and let the public read something great.
Right. Right. It's almost like a fountain. You turn
It really is.
Yeah, you unplug it and it flows out, and you feel so much better afterwards. And then when more comes back, you unplug it and let it out again.
Exactly.
Very
Kind of like a pressure valve.
Yeah, very very interesting. And I'm before the sun goes down tomorrow, and it is supposed to shine here tomorrow. But before the sun goes down tomorrow, I'm going to think of another word to replace amazing. But for now, I'm stuck on amazing, Terry. It's absolutely amazing. How many pages? What is it, 196 or 200 pages or something like that?
It's like not even that much. It's 150 something, I think, 170 something altogether.
And what I'm looking at on the on Amazon, it looks like a very interesting read, and it looks like it would be one of those that once you sit down, you just want to keep going with it. You don't want to put it down.
That's the way I designed it. I designed the plots where I would start off on my storyline about my recovery from my wreck,
Mm-hmm.
and then I would go back to after I got to a certain point on the wreck. I started out with my first experience as a medium as well. That's my very first chapter, and then I go from that to waking up in the ICU, and then from there I go into telling the story about the Civil War soldiers, and then I go back to, I remember this mission that I was on at such time while I was in service.
Uh-huh.
And then I go back from that to, I'm going through this in my recovery. So it's designed to keep people glued to the pages.
Do you ever converse or get up or gather around other mediums?
I have yet to do that.
Mm-hmm. Do they have? I don't want, because I'm completely ignorant about this stuff. But I mean, like, do they have? I don't know, medium associations or
I've yet to find one. I mean, they got paranormal societies. A lot of them will have a medium here and there, and you can talk with them. And I mean, I've talked to a few online through the internet and stuff, but other than that, I've never really one-on-one sat down with another medium, because sometimes you put the same kind of energy in the same room, and it tends to cancel each other out.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. My interesting. So very, very interesting. I always tell people, and I've been telling them for a long, long time, there are three types of people. There are those that will believe absolutely nothing. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how you say it, when you say it. They don't believe anything. Then you have people that will believe some of it, but discharge the others. They'll pick through it. You know, it's like picking through something that you're eating, and you pick out the good stuff and let the other stuff alone. Then you've got the third person. They believe everything. So I think that all of us fits under one of those categories. We are one of those three. I don't want to be the person that believes absolutely nothing. I never want to be a person like that. Number one, I think it would be boring, and I don't think those kind of people smile or enjoy too much of life. You know, and I'm just saying. But we'll fall under one of those three categories.
Yes, you will.
But I always tell people, if you've never been there, don't discharge it just because you've never experienced it, because somebody has. And
Yes, they have.
it's real, and just because you haven't experienced whatever it was doesn't make it unreal.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, we could discuss this thing for until the cows come home. Very interesting. Terry, I thank you, sir, for taking the
I
time.
got one more thing to tell you before you head off.
Sure.
All of your friends that you were with over in NAM say they love you, they care about you, and not to worry about them anymore.
Thank you. Thank you.
They're fine, they're safe, and they're home.
That's good to know, brother. That's really good to know. And I thank you for that.
Uh-huh.
Thank you for
Coming
your
from one veteran to another.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your time. Thank you for walking me through this. And I wish you the best of luck, Terry.
Same to you. Semper Fi, brother.
Semper Fi, bud. See you later.
All right.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. You can get the book, Amazon.com. The Medium Writer, Unshattered Spirits. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I got to use that word again. Amazing. I guess that's just about how I can sum it up. So what category do you fall under? Are you one of the people that never believes anything? Are you one of the people that believes some of the things, some of the time? You know, like some of the thing, some of the time. This is Friday, remember. Or do you fall under the category that you believe most anything? All of us are one of those three. I'll be right back after this. I got to catch my breath. We got something for everybody.
You never know who's gonna show up at your door tonight. You never know whose eyes are gonna contact you tonight. You better sit back and get ready. Hold on tight, 'cause it's a doorbell party, a doorbell party, a doorbell party tonight. You never know who's gonna wink at you or squeeze you tight. You never know who's gonna lift you up high as a kite. Sit back and get ready. Someone's gonna love you tonight. It's a doorbell party, a doorbell party, a doorbell party tonight. Nothing party, a doorbell party, a doorbell party tonight.
Forgiving infidelity is extremely difficult. A woman called Terry grew up with an unfaithful father, and then she married a man who was unfaithful. Don't miss the inspiring story of how she forgave when she found someone who was faithful and true. Listen to her dramatized testimony coming soon on Unshackled.
And that's tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, right here. Same time, same station, but Unshackled, the ministry of the Pacific Garden Mission. And as we do periodically around here, we didn't have the mic button on for some of that, but they've been around since 1877, much longer than any one of us has been around. So we want you to tune in tomorrow night for the third episode of Unshackled. And then again on Sunday morning at 7 a.m., we'll have another episode of Unshackled. If you've never listened to old time radio, this is old time radio in the 21st century. It is so cool, and I encourage you to come. We did our first show last Saturday evening and last Sunday morning, and we have had tremendous response, and we're just excited about it, and we're happy to bring it to you. Let's do a review. What we do this week. All right, class, get your notes out. Because perhaps later, before we leave tonight, we'll have a quiz. But let's do some review. Monday night, we had Lou Ann Hunt with us, and she sang and she talked, and then she sang some more, and then she talked with us, and we just had us a real good time. Then on Tuesday, we had Steve Perry with us, who wrote the book Bright Light, Secret Missions in Vietnam. And again, we had tremendous response from folks. Wednesday night, we had Brett Broughton, who wrote the book Homeland Insecurity. And we had another tremendous response. And I encourage you to get these books. Get these books. If you are an avid reader, and you can get mostly all these books on Kindle or Nook or whatever, if you prefer, reading it on those devices, or you can get it in paperback or hardback. But get these books. You can go to our show page and see what they are and where you can get them. Then last night we had Frank Reed, 89-year-old Second World War II veteran, who wrote the book not long ago, Mother's 6 Marines. His daddy was a Marine, he was a Marine, and his 4 brothers were all Marines. Mother's 6 Marines by Frank Reed. And for being on the radio for the very first time, he did a fantabulous job. I mean, I was just so proud of him. So, Mother's 6 Marines by Frank Reed. And then tonight, we had Terry Allen Dodson, who has written the book, The Medium Writer, Unshattered Spirits. And he converses with those people that have already passed on. And his book is based on several things. But in it, he tells the story of some Civil War soldiers. It's amazing. Tell your friends and your neighbors, your in-laws and your outlaws. And I'm sitting here trying to think and talk at the same time. Where are we at here? Charlie, what'd you say now? Yeah. Uh-huh. All right. Oh, yeah. Okay. Charlie says that we have to play Adam and the Couch Potatoes. Have you ever heard of Adam and the Couch Potatoes? Well, you are about to hear Adam and the Couch Potatoes, and they're going to do sing, swinging, swimming, blah, 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 blah.
Everybody, it's hot, it's hot, it's hot, it's hot, it's hot. Hot. It's not cool, so let's all grab our bathing suits and we'll go to the pool. Swimming all day long. Swimming like a fish, swimming, singing songs. Swimming all day long. Swimming like a fish, swimming, singing songs. Mama's got, she has sunblock. She has to spread like butter on bread. She spreads sunblock. So let's all grab our bathing suits and we'll go to the pool. Swimming all day long. Swimming like a fish, swimming, singing songs. Swimming all day long. Swimming like a fish, swimming, singing songs. I tread in place instead of swimming all over the place. So let's all grab our bathing suits and we'll go to the pool. Swimming all day long. Swimming like a fish, swimming like a fish, swimming, singing songs. Together now. Swimming, 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 all day long. Swimming like a fish, swimming like a fish, swimming, singing songs. Swimming, swimming, all day long. Swimming like a fish, swimming like a fish, swimming, singing songs. Together now. Swimming, 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 all day long. Swimming like a fish, swimming like a fish, swimming, singing songs.
I don't know why. I don't know why you're all laughing. Well, because, ladies and gentlemen, for you that are not here in the studio or outside the studio, you couldn't see it, but you know these people that was out on the dance floor was swimming. I mean, they was standing up swimming. There was a couple that laid down and acted like they was swimming. You know. I mean, you just never know around here, much less what's going to happen on a Friday night. But anyhow, that was Adam and the Couch Potatoes. What, Charlie? All right. Well, you're the man with a button over there. Charlie wants to play Riding Without Fighting. That ought to be interesting. Riding Without Fighting. Adam and the Couch Potatoes. Well, let's see what we got going on here.
Driving, well my kids are always fighting. They're fighting about a book they read. They're fighting about fighting. I wish they would stop fighting so the drive would be inviting. Inviting to the driver. Riding without fighting. Driving, well my kids are always fighting. They're fighting about a TV show. They're fighting about fighting. I wish they would stop fighting so the drive would be inviting. Inviting to the driver. Riding without fighting. Driving, well my kids are always fighting. They're fighting about a Barbie doll. They're fighting about fighting. I wish they would stop fighting so the drive would be inviting. Inviting to the driver. Riding without fighting. Fighting, while our moms and dads are driving. They're driving us on errands, hanging out with parents. I wish they would stop driving so that I could hang with Clarence. Instead, I'm stuck with parents stuck with errands. But errands get your hair done, and errands help your parents to drop you off at soccer games and drop you off at Clarence. So shush your fighting, because I'm the one that's driving. And since I'm the one that's driving, there will be no fighting. No fighting.
That's hilarious.
Well, I'm not a crook.
Now we're going to get serious. Tap your feet. Snap your fingers. Bob your head. Shake your booty.
The one who lost a stash on the dance floor.
I pretend they're all you. You're listening to the George Espinlov Show, coming to you live from the Funny Farm in a place called Our World, which we have absolutely no idea where that is. We have no specific mailing address because we don't even have a mailbox. I mean, what's the use of having a mailbox if you don't even know where you're at? You know what I'm saying? But we do have an email address because, yes, in our world, we have electricity just like you. We have electronic devices just like you. And so we do have an email address, George C.E. That's George C.E. at Comcast.net. And we thank those that have been emailing us, and we thank those that are going to be emailing us. We have answered all of those that have emailed us, and we will answer all of you that will email us. Did I do that right? Did I get it all right? I think I got it all right. Anyhow, we want you to email us, georgece at Comcast.net. We have had a lot of fun this week, and we have had another lineup of incredible guests, and next week will be no exception. We'll dive right back into it again Monday night, and we'll just run that puppy all the way through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then on Saturday night, tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, come right back here to the Spreaker Network, right back here to the George Espinlov Show, and we will be airing the third episode of Pacific Garden Missions Ministry called Unshackled, that's been around a long time. And you can come in, we'll play some gospel music, and then we'll take you in to the actual true account of Unshackled. You can sit back and relax and enjoy it. And then, it's entirely up to you. But we'll do it again Sunday morning, 7 a.m. I hope you enjoy it, because we're sure having fun with it. You know, Lou Ann Hunt was here on Monday night with us, and one of the songs that we played was Dancing on the Moon. And that thing kind of just, that stuck to me, and it's still sticking to me. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to go Dancing on the Moon.
take you where you are to where you wanna be. 'Cause radio works. Radio works. We'll take you from where you are to where you wanna be. 'Cause radio works. Radio works.
Yeah, it do. Every time they play that, I say the same thing. Yeah, it do, because it does. I almost said it do. Because it do. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Oh, my goodness gracious. It's been a glorious, wonderful week this week, just like every week. I just every night when we go on the air, you know, that little red light lights up, that thingy that says on air. I mean, it just does something to me. And because we have such gracious listeners, and we have such strong support, and people that are standing with us, around us, beside us, we appreciate it so very, very much. And I appreciate everyone and their kind words. I know I say this often, but I mean every word of it. I appreciate your kind words, your support, the emails, and all the things that people do and say. It means a lot to us here on the George Espinlove Show. And we know, we found out many, many years ago, if you don't have an audience, you shouldn't even be behind the microphone. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that would really be stupid. What can I say? Well, it would be. I mean, there's no need to be sitting behind the microphone broadcasting if nobody's out there listening to you. I mean, I'm just saying, you know, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying. We are going to have a lineup of guests that'll just blow your socks off coming down the road. So we want you to tune in with us every single night. If you can't make it live, tune in later, because all the shows are archived. You can go back and listen to any one of them, one, some, or all of them. Take your pick, take your choice, whatever floats your boat. So, you know, if you can't be here live, you can always come back later. I know that there's some people have told me that they'll listen to a show, and then they'll have part of a show, and then they'll have to go do something or be somewhere or whatever, and then they'll come back and they'll pick up right where they left off, and so on and so forth. That's really cool. Remember, if you have an Apple device, be it an iPhone or an iPad or an iPod Touch or an iPad, you can go to the Apple store, the app, you know, where you get the apps at, and just type up there Spreaker, and you can bring down the app. It's free of charge. Bring down the Spreaker app, and anywhere you go with your Apple devices, you can listen to Spreaker, and you can listen to the George Espinlove Show and thousands, literally thousands of others right along with it. If you have a Droid system, go to your marketplace and download the Spreaker app and do the same thing. Put it on the tablets and the phones and so on and so forth, and everywhere you go, you can take Spreaker with you. So you can listen to us and other broadcasters 16 different ways from last week anymore, because, man, we are hooked up, and you are hooked up, and we are communicating, and you are communicating, and somehow everybody's intertwined with everybody else, and, you know, it goes on and on and on and on. This modern technology is just wonderful. Well, I want to thank Terry Allen Dodson, medium writer, Unshattered Spirits. It was very, very interesting. And for lack of a better term, I'm going to find a word before the sun goes down tomorrow night. It was amazing. I thank you, Terry, for coming and being with us so very, very much. Wow. It's been a great week. It's been a good day. I mean that. It's been a great week and a good day. Remember our friends and neighbors that's up north that's being pounded by the snowstorm. I know snow is so pretty and all this and all that, but this is a dangerous storm. And let's remember them in our prayers. Let's hope that there's no loss of life and nothing serious happens. The storm will come, do what it does. No one gets hurt, and it just blows on out into the Atlantic and goes away. But in the meantime, pray for our brothers and sisters. The highways are mostly shut down in New England up that way, if not all of them. So if you have friends and family and relatives up that way, get in touch with them. Stay in touch with them as long as you can. Hopefully the lights won't go out, but there's a great possibility they will. But remember them in prayer tonight, because it's a dangerous, dangerous storm. Well, we're going to get out of here. Right, Charlie? Right. Okay. There's a whole lot of love coming to you from the Funny Farm. We mean that. How about emailing us? GeorgeCE@Comcast.net. GeorgeCE@Comcast.net. And we'll respond right back at you. Thank you for all those that have been sending emails. It's a lot of fun. Wherever you're at, whatever you might be going through, we want you to know that we care about you. If we put a smile on your face tonight, just for a little bit, we're happy. And if we made you just about as crazy as the rest of us around here, we're really happy. And you can bet your bottom dollar we're not going to quit trying. We're going to make you just about as crazy as the rest of us, if not as crazy as the rest of us. Maybe even more so. Well, that's a task at hand. If it's nighttime, have a great night. If it's already daytime, you have a great day. But until tomorrow night, remember, Saturday night, tomorrow night, same time, same station, right here on the Spreaker Network, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Tune in for the third episode of Unshackled. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, this is George Espinlaub. On behalf of Charlie and my mom and all the gang, we say thank you for tuning in, and God bless you, and we'll see you later. Stay safe, everybody.